Hey Capricorn, it is a different season. We are in Scorpio season, and already you might be thinking about your birthday. If you haven't and I reminded you and you were trying not to think about it, I'm sorry. It's not that you don't like your birthday or don't find it a time to celebrate. It's more just possibly for those of you who might be too hard on yourselves, might be reminded of things that you don't have accomplished, or the parts where you still want to climb, and that's not why I'm reminding you. There's a piece of yourself I think you're still really discovering in this time, and also you can want perhaps something to change maybe a little quicker than you think it is. However, it's happening the way it's supposed to. It's not always easy to hear that, but I think it's best to be reminded of that sometimes, especially for those of us who have cardinal placements and can't help but want to consistently initiate maybe the same thing, even though it's like doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. Nothing changes. So even though the leadership and the initiative sign, it's still, you can still run your head into the wall over and over again. So what I'm saying is, you may be fixed on a certain perception of what this part of the year means for you, because the Death card did fall out first. What death even means to you, what the next 2 months mean to you, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because we have Scorpio and Sagittarius here. So what is important for you to allow this eclipse coming up to show you? So it's a solar eclipse in Scorpio, and the lunar eclipse, the last set of eclipses for the year before they enter Libra, Aries axis, and it's for for Taurus and Scorpio. It's a very death and rebirth kind of vibe every time, and so this year can feel like many years in one, or many layers in one, just being, or the same layer over and over, kind of being opened up or shown to you time and time again. And it's not always the easiest perspective to get. However, this time it's almost like you're sure you really want to know and you kind of don't get a choice, you do know. And it may come from this moment that happens very soon, probably even close to the 23rd, which is right as we enter the season, because it's like literally walking you into the season on a horse, riding you into the season, seeing how maybe burnt out a lot of people are, maybe having a lot of compassion, even for yourself and the parts of you that you've given up, or the parts of you that you may have needed to explore more deep in your life. And it looks like you can have more of a inner dialogue that isn't so extreme for some of you. For others of you, it's more about how you handle the triggers perhaps coming your way, or have already come your way. These may show you where it is that you maybe aren't seeing straight. Maybe you're overworked. Maybe your mind is overworked, so it's possible that you are thinking, or things are maybe from the past are being brought up, where you're thinking about how this looks or why, or maybe even placing blame on why you're not getting there, getting where you need to go. But Scorpio season isn't about that. It's about the depth of what you seek, which you seek. So something that I'm being reminded of is each ladder, there's still more responsibility. You can wonder why, and this was actually brought to my attention by a Capricorn, is that even where he works, his bosses don't seem happy, right? So it doesn't matter what layer or level you're on, there's perks, positive and negatives, just like what I'm reading to you here. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. Something very strongly that drives you. You're finding out what that is. Through all of this, you're finding out what that is, what it is that you put energy into and why, and it's going to connect. It could be the Pluto or the Saturn going direct this month. I apologize, because that is your ruling planet, and it could be Pluto in your sign as well, because we have Pluto at the top, but we'll get more into that into the second part, which will be in a link below. It would be a Patreon link. And person, very spacey. That is the vibe. It's like a deep spaciness. I'm like deeply daydreaming, deeply dreaming right now. So you could feel even possibly disoriented. And I think that's why, I think that's partially the reason why I felt the need to do your video first. I don't know if I'm going to put it out first, but I did it because I think that no matter what right now, you need to experience it regardless of what I'm going to say to you. You just have to know that you are being given an opportunity to alchemize something greatly in your life, something that you may have saw more superficially or as a scapegoat at some point in your mind, and now you're turning something into fruition, and you're not giving yourself enough attention on how much you've done, or you haven't been maybe seen in a way that you need to be seen, or haven't given yourself enough time to process, or whatever it is. But it may hit you harder. I keep holding myself back from getting emotional almost. It may hit you harder because what a Sagittarius knows, that an aware Sagittarius knows, and then the wisdom of Sagittarius season always has a little bit of spice of, or any Sagittarius that you know, is that there's always some hidden wisdom of it's life. It's how you respond to it. It's being in the moment rather than always being in your head. It's letting yourself feel and express and fuck up and enjoy and celebrate and succeed and converse and play and shout and argue. And Scorpio season will take you into the intimate parts of yourself. And some of those things can, be processed deeper. So it's something I think you're subconsciously working through. So now I even feel a shift in the weight of the heart here. Ooh. Yeah, because through this you may have given yourself an opportunity and a chance to practice something that you're going to have to actually declare or decide on in the months ahead. about your situation, what it looks like at home, what it is at home, whatever home means to you, how you also observe home, what you see maybe in others, or you feel or you see in your own like mind and your own daydreams, like we were talking about in the beginning. To circle it all back, you maybe thinking about more about that and putting more energy into what it means for you, what that feeling, not just of home, but family, or the people that come in and out of your place or in and out of your life, what you decide to call home, or how you feel about that word. And it sounds so crazy, but it can be a very good thing to take words that are very tangible yet intangible, right? Because sometimes you can't always paint a solid picture about it. It's more of feeling what's happening, like in a silent movie or dance, or being somewhere where you don't know anyone yet you're interacting with the way you are. Like being in a waiting room is what I'm thinking of. And like then something very mercurial, which is words, and then applying value to it, which is Venus, and Scorpio will be entering both of those signs this month. So poetry, also storytelling, and the story of going through whatever it is that you need to get through in order to get to this other side, in order to make it there, right? And I'm not trying to be so dramatic, but it is what it is. It's a season of that, of elongating and extending yourself into how you feel, but understanding the alchemy of that and what that looks like in your life. And that is the art of Scorpio, I believe. You don't have to quote me. But you could be on and off in your head and in different ways of your life, but you're giving more thought to certain things. You may even be needing to, or subconsciously doing things that are helping you slow down even, especially in a way where you can connect more with your body. So that could be a good idea too for some of you. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah. And that might help the fluidity of the emotions and what you find and what you realize about whatever it is that you can't stop, or whatever is like incessantly coming into your mind at this time, whatever is being shown to light about how you handle certain situations in your life, especially ones that have to do with your wins and losses, that have to do with the way you see life. And that's something that may be reiterating itself over and over again, and why it keeps playing out in a certain way. For some of you, it's this this thing that you keep from some people from seeing from you, and it's like that real relaxed part of you. And you're gonna need that part this month. So not to make light of it. All right, Capricorn. So second part will be in a link below, as well as information to work with me one-on-one. And I will see you next month.